Hello, welcome! This video I am documenting my trip to Venice. I started out with a train ride through the Alps, the Austrian Alps, to get to Venice, and oh my god, was it the most beautiful train ride ever. Though it was 8 hours long, I had the time of my life listening to music and looking out these windows like, are you kidding me? It was so pretty. Eventually, I got off the train, and my first look took my breath away. I had to take a second, because it was just magical. I can't believe I'm here. This is insane. I grabbed a bite to eat, and then managed to figure out the ferry to get to my hostel, though it was a little bit of an adventure and I did get lost in some back alleys, but I did get there. And this was casually my view from my hostel. Like, are you kidding me? It was so pretty. But anyways, then I got ready for bed and called it an early night because I was exhausted from such a long travel day. The next morning, my first morning actually in Venice, I took the ferry over to the main islands and just got lost. I walked around and looked and took pictures and videos and just felt like I was in a movie, and it was the most beautiful city ever.
Hot as anything. I think it's only 22 degrees, but for me that's hot. There's not a whole lot of benches. So I'm sitting here because it's cooler by the water. But I've kind of just been like wandering through all the alleys, kind of trying to stay in the shade. Because I am gonna burn super easily. If that sounds good, but we'll see how long that lasts. I'm taking my shirt off, but yeah.
After my little rest by the water, I continued to just get lost, and I did my best to avoid the crowds and go to the less touristy zones just to see what it was like, and I actually often found myself completely alone, which was really lovely, and just being able to be by the water by myself listening to music was really nice and refreshing, and I loved it.
Being vegetarian in Europe is not an easy thing, my goodness. I think this is one of the coolest cities I've ever been to be honest. I don't know if it's quite overtaken the place in my heart that Paris has, but it's just one of the most unique places I've ever been. And I have a hard time believing it's real. I keep on finding myself thinking like, oh, it's Disneyland, because Disneyland has a Venice, but I'm like, no, this is a real place. and it just is so beautiful. I'm just having a hard time believing its existence. I'm really trying to memorize it, look at everything, because I don't know if I'll ever be able to come back. So I'm just really trying to soak it all in. And it's also like, you know, with sea levels rising, like it could not exist in 10, 20 years. And that's just crazy to think about, that all these years of history, like, could just stop existing within my lifetime. That's just insane to think about. But like, that's, like, I'm here. I did the thing. I've been talking about solo backpacking for forever, and I'm doing it. And I'm in Venice by myself with a backpack. I have not yet made any friends. I need to really figure that out, but it's hard. But that's okay.
Later that night, I actually did make a friend. I met the most lovely girl from Nebraska, and we ended up just chatting the whole evening. I didn't film any of it because she was a brand new person. But hi, Cody, I miss you.
Okay, so we're gonna try and go to one of the little islands. However, I've gotten lost. But now I'm kind of doing like a graffiti tour hosted by me, because I am very interested in what graffiti says about a place. So I'm looking at it, and it's neat. Also, I made a friend last night, and we're gonna meet up. She's got a walking tour. We're gonna meet up in a bit and then go shopping.
Though it started out as a sunny day, the clouds quickly rolled in, and the wind started picking up, and eventually rain started to pour. I didn't actually mind it though. I was in a thunderstorm in Venice, and I could hear the thunder booming throughout these old buildings, and I just loved it. There's no other way to say it. It was magic. I sought shelter under these pillars, and this is where I found my friend Cody. We then went out for lunch, and the sun came out, and it was so lovely. We spent the afternoon exploring together. This was a little, like, freebie Biennale exhibition because the Biennale was happening while we were there, and we walked into this and immediately hated it. I muted it because it was awful. There was a high-pitched ringing noise, and we hated it. We went to this bookstore called the Libreria Acqua Alta. I definitely butchered that. All their books were in boats, and they also had a little gondola that we could take pictures in. way back to the hostel. We spent a little bit of time chilling. I sat and wrote for a bit, and then we popped a bottle of some sparkling wine to celebrate our last night in Venice.
There we go.
We spent the evening talking like we had known each other forever, watching the sunset over the skyline in Venice, and I truly think this was my favorite night of the entire trip. It just really has a place in my heart, and I think it will for a really long time, if not forever. And then it was the next morning, and it was time to get going. We decided to do a quick little morning trip over to Murano, which is one of the littler islands famous for glass blowing.
Yeah. That's a chunky pigeon.
We even actually got to watch someone actually glass blowing, and I had seen it before, but it was really cool to see it here. And he made a horse, which then exploded because it suddenly was in the cold, which was really neat.
And I am just here so super early, which is okay. I'd rather be here early than late. I'm currently trying to figure out my train though. This says the end place is in Naples, and I really don't want to end up there. I asked and I think it's fine, but I'm just double checking. Glamorous traveling. This is so smooth. Actually, I'm loving it. Also, my train's delayed 30 minutes, so I'm just gonna sit here for a hot minute.
And that concludes my Venice adventures. It truly was, I think, my favorite city on this entire trip. I loved it so much. But now, I'm on my way to Florence. Okay, bye.